This week on the Island Times News Update, Neptune Beach votes to stay with 4-foot-wide docks on Hopkins Creek. Budget season is coming to a close in the 3 beach communities, and the digital sign debate is taken up at Beaches Watch. Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. The Neptune Beach City Council voted Monday night to stay with 4-foot-wide docks on Hopkins Creek after the Community Development Board determined that was the appropriate width for the docks. At its August 27th meeting, the CDB considered a proposed change to the portion of the Land Use Code that applies to environmentally sensitive lands. Councilor Scott Wiley proposed changing the allowable width of a dock walkway from 4 feet to 5 feet, as is allowed by the State Department of Environmental Protection. But the CDB voted to recommend to the council that the ordinance should not be changed, and docks should not be allowed to be more than 4 feet wide, with a terminal platform not to exceed 200 square feet. The vote of the CDB was unanimous. The Hopkins Creek area has not been designated an aquatic preserve, meaning the state DEP allows 5-foot-wide walkways. But during Monday's meeting, Kerry Chin, chair of the CDB, said that local municipalities are allowed to enact stricter regulations than the state. Chin said the board did not make an assumption that the area is an aquatic preserve, but it did hear testimony that it could have been so designated had the land not been privately owned. Mayor Harriet Pruitt made a motion that the council should adopt the recommendation of the CDB. She said that the council should strongly consider the work the panel put into discussing the issue. Commissioner John Jolly said the dock on his property on the Santa Fe River is only 2 feet wide, and there has never been a safety issue, and the same was true of dock walkways that are 3 and 4 feet wide in that area. The council will hold a public hearing before holding a second vote on the dock issue. The Jacksonville Beach City Council held a 7-minute meeting Wednesday night to approve on first reading the city's millage rate and operating budget. The city has set the millage rate at 3.9947, which is a 2.4% decrease from the 2014 budget, but also 2.4% higher than the rollback rate of 3.8994. Property values are up 6.8% in Jacksonville Beach, so the decrease in the millage rate means a decrease in the city's general fund of $178,874. Overall, the budget passed on first read by the Jacksonville Beach Council is $153,947,972. The budget is about 14% less than the current year's. Most of that decrease results from the expected completion of redevelopment projects budgeted in 2014 and decreases in energy costs. Mayor Charlie Latham said after the budget was passed that Jacksonville Beach is in sound financial shape and that he is grateful for the continued exceptional service of the men and women of Jacksonville Beach. The Jacksonville Beach City Council will meet again on Monday, September 8th for final passage of the millage rate and the budget, which goes into effect October 1st. The city of Jacksonville Beach voted to make a slight change in zoning for parks in residential areas at its meeting Monday night. In the city's 3 single-family residential zoning districts, public and private parks, playgrounds, and recreation areas are listed as permitted uses. But under the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act passed by the U.S. Congress in 2000, assembly uses, such as religious organizations and parks and recreation facilities, must be treated on an equal basis. The change approved on first reading Monday night by the Jacksonville Beach Council removes parks, playgrounds, and recreations from permitted use and adds them to the list of conditional uses in those areas of the zoning code where religious organizations are listed. City Manager George Forms explained that the change would only be applied to new parks, and existing parks will continue under the permitted use designation. The September Beaches Watch meeting focused on changeable electronic signs in Jacksonville Beach. The issue has been before the Planning Commission for several months, but that panel cannot come to a consensus on the so-called dwell time, or the amount of time a message can be displayed before it changes. The city of Jacksonville, Clay County, Volusia County, and other areas of Florida have adopted an 8-second dwell time for their changeable signs, and Bruce Enyart, who has worked for nearly 40 years for Don Bell Signs, believes that Jacksonville Beach should also adopt that standard. But attorney Bill Brenton, who's a member of Scenic Florida and who has worked with several cities to write sign ordinances, said that many cities have much longer dwell times measured in hours rather than seconds, and some do not allow changeable electronic signs at all. The debate began several months ago when Mayor Charlie Latham asked City Manager George Forbes if the city could put the Fletcher football schedule on its changeable electronic sign. With the City Planning Board unable to bring the issue up for a vote, no decision is expected anytime soon. Latham said that nobody is trying to force the issue on the city, but he believes there is a compromise that can be reached. When we come back, Neptune Beach is in negotiations for compensation for its city attorney. This is the Island Times News Update.
Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788. Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. Neptune Beach is in negotiations with City Attorney Patrick Krachowski, who's seeking an increase in his monthly retainer from $2,832.50 to $5,000, as well as a boost in his fee for non-retainer services from $150 to $200 an hour. Krachowski proposed significant new duties for himself in return for the increase in pay, including a wholesale assessment of the city's municipal code. During discussion of the increase Monday night, Councilor Richard Arthur said the city should work towards replacing some necessary employees, such as a code enforcement officer, before considering such a significant increase. It was recommended by Councilor Scott Wiley the city attorney be held to the same 3% increase that will be given to the remainder of the city employees in the coming fiscal year. The budget that will be considered in a special meeting on Monday, September 8th, will include $28,000 for additional legal services, as well as $14,000 for a part-time code enforcement officer. Speaking of the budgets, all three beach communities will hold budget votes on Monday, September 8th. In Jacksonville Beach, it'll be the second read and final passage for the millage rate and budget. In both Atlantic Beach and Neptune Beach, the budgets will be considered on first read and public hearings will be held. The Jacksonville Beach Art Walk will be held Tuesday beginning at 5 p.m., running until 9. The event features dozens of local artists and musicians, and businesses stay open late for the event. An exhibit commemorating the 50th anniversary of Hurricane Dora will open at the Beaches Museum and History Park Wednesday. The exhibit will feature a collection of images as well as an exploration of the science of hurricanes and hurricane tracking. There will also be a hurricane simulator, which will allow visitors to experience winds equivalent to the 78 miles per hour of a Category 1 hurricane. And a new exhibit has opened at the First Street Gallery in the Beaches Town Center. Beneath African Skies features the work of Melinda Bradshaw, who has created digital paintings based on photographs taken in Africa. The show continues through October 20th. Well, the National Weather Service says we can expect a good chance of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend, with highs in the mid to upper 80s and overnight lows in the 70s. The Island Times is always digital, always free, at www.theislandtimes.com. Become a subscriber and get updates on news from the beach's communities delivered right to your email box. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.